Hi, once again, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. Welcome to the Friday podcast. Today, we're going to talk about what are the simple rules to becoming a great leader, and to cover those rules and those keys. I'm joined by my friend, mentor, and partner, the legendary Hubert Humphrey. Hubert, how are you this Friday?
Doing great. Glad to be with everybody. It's been a great week. I think today's a great message, and becoming a leader in any field or any endeavor is what you want to do. So
sure. And I really want to hear, what are those simple rules that you followed, and the leaders that you've built in the past, and the leaders that you're building right now, they are understanding these principles, and that's what's making them, really creating them into great leaders. So let's cover the first one here that I see is that one needs to commit to running a system whereby recruiting never stops. I've heard you say this many times, and I get it now why at least the mentality has to be you always need to be recruiting, whether that is to expand, right, to open an outlet and then sell more through them. But in everything, you've got to be always recruiting people for, that can help you run your business and to expand your sales force. But can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, well, just stop and think about the word leader. If you don't have anybody on your team, if you're a general and you have no soldiers, if you are a coach and you have no football players, you can't. The first order to be a leader is you got to have somebody to lead, and you got to have a system whereby developing prospects and contacting never stops, and holding meetings never stops, and following up never stops, and getting each one of those success steps never stops. The key is never stops, and so that makes you automatically a leader, because you're constantly in motion, because the system, if you're doing the system right, you're taking step one, going step two, going step three, and you're repeating it, and then the people that are following you are going to come right in and follow through that same system. So you're always in action, you're in motion, and the key to get anybody to follow you is to make sure you're in motion. If you're just a static leader sitting around some headquarters and talking about some plan we're going to do, and they never see you doing it, they never see it happening, it's forever talking, never doing, that's not leadership, that's management. Just understand that, don't confuse being a leader with being a manager. You manage things, you lead people. And to lead people, you've got to be able to be in motion and keep people in motion. What happens to people when when you're not in motion? You're either in our world, you're either growing or you're dying. So it's always you got to be in the growing business and the doing business. And sometimes it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going on an appointment that doesn't work out. Sometimes you're making an invitation that doesn't show up. Sometimes you're recruiting somebody that kind of look like a star, but they got excuse-itis. That's okay. You're moving. You're going through it. You're going through the numbers, and that's the first thing a great leader's got to, or someone to be a leader has got to find a system or something that can cause them quickly to give the most people the quickest chance to get started and have success. That's why I've always loved our system, is that I'm fresh from the railroad. I'm a new guy. I've never been a great leader, but I can go get some other people who are excited because they see me excited, and I've convinced them to give it a try. And they plug in and I say, look, all I know is just if you come over here and do what I did last week, and you'll be just as strong as I am right now, and they're going to follow me. I'm a leader. But I've got more confidence because I know I'm on a system that's saving me, and it'll save them, and they've got people that'll come, they'll be saved. The system keeps everything moving, and so you're a leader, and you got it going. Of course, obviously, there's several things the leader's got to have. One, you better be leading people in the right endeavor. You better be in the right industry, the right business, the right model, the right product, the right time, the right demographics. If you got all that going, then you got a chance. See, just running and grabbing a ladder, that's not good enough. If that ladder's got faulty steps and you take 2 or 3 steps and the steps fall out and you can't climb the ladder, that's not much of a ladder. If you go get a 3-foot ladder and lean it up against a 50-foot wall, well, you only went 3 feet. You got 47 more feet. You can't. That ladder's not tall enough. Or sometimes people get a good ladder, but they lean it against the wrong wall. So you got to make sure. Basically, you need to be in the right opportunity with the right people, the right model, and your odds of being a leader go up. So you can. Do you know that people can lead people to disaster?
Absolutely.
People can lead people to failure. People can lead people to oblivion. So
absolutely.
What do you got to there? What are you leading them to, and why are you trying to lead them there? And then so to all the people out there, you need to be careful who you follow. Be careful what you follow. Be careful what doctrine or philosophy you follow. What system or lack of system you follow. You just be careful. You're supposed to follow it, but let's be careful who you follow. You better go find if they got a proven, tested system. Have they got a track record? Have they done what they said they can do, or is this just? Are you going to be their guinea pig? Are you going to be their laboratory mouse that they're going to practice on? But they got great plans, but you got to be the guinea pig. This day and age, it's too much too risky for you to do that.
I don't think there's ever been a time where more of those things are actually out there and people are following, blind following, blind leading the blind, or blind following, whatever that. Right. But so yeah, it's first thing is understanding what leadership is, and that understand that if you're going to be a leader, you got to have the people who you're going to lead, and that's why you've got to be in one of these simple rules is that we've got to be in a recruiting mentality, recruiting mode, because you're not going to do what you're trying to do by yourself. You're going to need a big team, and therefore the recruiter's mentality need to be there all the time. A second simple rule for becoming a great leader is a quote that I hear you mention over and over and over again, which is discipline and accountability lead to ascension and dominance. In this podcast, can you really elaborate? I think that is so powerful that we haven't really given it the space to dive deep into it. Discipline and accountability will lead to ascension and dominance.
Well,
it's going to explain itself, but
yeah. But the number one, not number one, one of the main deficiencies in our society today, in this world we live in today, whether it's politicians in Washington or in other capitals of the world, or families, or in the military, or in life in general, in families, and in individuals, and in companies, is lack of discipline. There's a tremendous gap in the discipline at this day and age, and so anything that can create more discipline, and without accountability, there'll be no discipline. You understand? So you got discipline and accountability have to go together. It's like if I'm sitting there saying, if you do that again, we're gonna really get you. If I'm the principal at a school and we really you're in the principal's office, but then nobody goes and checks to see if that person does it. There's no follow up. The people just they like today, people don't even pay attention to the policeman sometimes. They think that they've canceled out the policeman and there's no accountability, so people just do take advantages of them. So discipline and accountability are critical. If you're going to ascend up the ladder of success, become a better human being, a better business person, gain more market share, more success, build a bigger company, make more money, create more wealth, help more people, any of that ascension, especially if you're trying to get up to a position of dominance. That's why we call it hegemon, Group International. Hegemon is a Greek word for meaning to dominate or dominance, imperial dominance. So the leadership format system that we offer, the system built into it, it creates this discipline because it requires you to do the next step. If you don't do the next step, you're not going to have the results. You do the next one. It's those simple steps. So the system, you have system discipline, And even in the companies we've built, there's people out there that get in and they hear what we say, but ego's getting away. A lot of people say, "Man, I think I can straight." That used to work. I'm gonna help Hubert. I got a little better way. And they come in trying to adapt us to their thoughts instead of their thoughts to us, and so they fumble around with it only to find out that they didn't have the system discipline. And a lot of them wake up and finally come on and get on the straight and narrow path, and they land on this financial moon. They finally get there. They were off course, but they get and the accountability. We have a instantaneous, in real time leaderboard. In other words, you got an app on your phone or anything. You can hit our deal and you can see immediately how you're doing. How are you ranking in any category you happen to be in? If it's personal in recruiting or production or cash flow or team building or whatever, or how big your team is. You can be right now, and if you got 4 or 5 people on your team, you can just go hit that button and look on our instantaneous scoreboard, and your team's, our team is number 3, man. Good gosh. It's only the 3rd day of the month. Well, see, that's accountability. But if you don't see yourself there, you best go say, I got these people. Why aren't our people showing up there? What's going on? And you can actually go in and look at each person's stuff and hold them. You don't go beat them up. You go. What I do is I don't look at people as premium or production or cash flow because it's not for me. If I see somebody that's deficient, I don't go beat them up about it. I just go remind them that, hey, look, you got in this business to make money, to be successful. And all I can tell you is that you're behind schedule. You're off course. Your team's not performing at the level they ought to, and you just need to know that, because I don't want you fooling yourself thinking you're going to come up with some success at the end when you're not doing the things that you need right now. I'm just a reminder. I'm just I'm part of that GPS leadership system that's going to keep them going. That's what a discipline and accountability is all about. There's no saying where performance is measured, performance might actually occur, and performance will only improve if there's accountability. It doesn't just automatically improve. It has to have, people have to be held accountable. In fact, Andrew Carnegie, that guy became the first billionaire in America. One of his great quotes was that he said, "Nothing incites and excites an up-and-coming leader than being held accountable by a master in their field." So if you want to be a master in your field, just align with a good success system like we've got, and you become an instant master. Why? Because the system is the master, and if you're aligned with it, a little bit of that master kind of blends off on you, and you've got a chance to excite and incite an up-and-coming leader in the field. Andrew Carnegie, it worked for him. That's what the system's all about. So discipline and accountability are, without that, there's no game. It'd be like playing a basketball game with no coaches and no scoreboard.
Yeah, there's no ascension and no dominance.
That's right.
All right. That is clear. It's clear, and thanks for elaborating on that.
To create a leader, it's like if you're trying to create steel, if you're trying to temper steel, it has to have a crucible of fire.
Yeah.
And that iron products has got to be put in there and tempered and beat and heated and molded, and it comes out. It becomes a great sword of Alexander or some sword. Well, human beings that same way. It has to go through some kind of processing, some kind of crucible, and that's called discipline and accountability, to have a chance to come out to be strong as steel. That's all we're doing. That's what you want. If you're in business and you really want to be in business and you really want to be successful, you want to be tempered. You want to be able to go, and the people you're going to recruit are going to want to have that. So make sure you're in a process somewhere to where all of that can be happening to temper you and turn you into the leaders you want to be.
Awesome. Well, I think there's a lot of simple rules, and I want to invite those that are listening right now or watching us on YouTube not to miss next week, because we're going to be getting into these simple rules to become a great leader. If you have these principles, these keys in your arsenal, you'll be able to operate with the right paradigms. And these are the rules that Hubert Humphrey used to build multi-billion-dollar market cap companies. And you need this kind of mentality. We're going to wrap it up for today, Hubert, but I do want to remind everybody that there is a system they can plug into to learn all of these things, to be able to be aligned with other great leaders, and that is the HGI opportunity. If you have not yet checked out the opportunity, I encourage you to go there right now and spend a little time, learn about what the opportunity is all about. There's a 15-minute presentation from the CEO himself that it takes you through what it is. You'll see the past, and then you'll see the present, and then you'll see the future of where HGI has been, where it is, and where it's going. And I think that's going to help you understand why that is the best opportunity in America today. Where can you watch this presentation? Going to hgiopportunity.com. hgiopportunity.com. You'll see why, especially now with the way that the economy is and the way the technology that we have has made this opportunity even better than it's been in the previous decades. So check it out again. I'll repeat the link, which is hgiopportunity.com. Can't wait for next week so we can start a whole new series of this Conquistador podcast and bring even more value. Hubert, as always, thank you so much for all the value that you add to the show, to the people that are listening to it more and more every single week. And we're looking forward for the opportunity of next week to continue to do this more.
All right, see you then. Take care.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance.